Yo, all right, what's going on, you guys? Today we'll be doing a Cisco Packet Tracer lab. This lab right here was given to us by Jeremy's IT lab, and it's basically just a basic multi-layer switch lab. We have three VLANs, and we will be configuring this topology so we have connectivity between all the VLANs, and we also will have a default route to the internet. So let's get started. We're just gonna work through the steps we have here. So first we gotta replace the router on the stick configurations on R1 to switch 2 with the point-to-point layer 3 connection using the IP addresses given. So we have the network 10.0.0.192/30. So that gives us a point-to-point link. We'll have two addresses. I see we have 0.194 and 0.193. So first thing we have to do is get rid of the router on the stick configuration. So with router on the stick, you have sub interfaces. So we're gonna do a show IP interface brief, and we see we have sub interfaces .10.20.30. So we're gonna start by getting rid of those. So we're gonna do a no interface G00.10. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do it for 20. Oops. And we're also gonna do it for 30. Now if we run the shell command once more, we can see the sub interfaces are now gone. So to establish this point-to-point connection, what is it? G00. We're gonna assign 10.0.0.194. And with a /30 mask, you have um a subnet mask of 255.255.255.252. And that's it for R1 for now. And we're going to do the same on switch 2. So before this was a trunk link, I believe if we were doing router on a stick. So let's see our trunks. Yep, I'm right. We got a trunk from this multi-layer switch to this router. Now it needs to be a layer 3 connection. So to get out of that, I think I'm gonna just do a interface G002. You may be asking, how did I know that? Well, yeah, he has it listed up here anyways, but I could tell without it being listed that this was the link to the router. To the router is because it's including all the VLANs. Because this trunk link right here needs 10, 20, and 30, while this one right here only needs 30 and 10 because VLAN 20 is already local to the multi-layer switch. But anyways, yeah, let's get into this interface, and we're going to do a no switch port. And that should turn off the trunk for that. Yep, see, since it's not a switch port anymore, it's not a routed port, a trunk link cannot exist. So now we will, did we enable IP routing? I don't think we did yet. We're gonna go ahead and do that. This allows the multi-layer switch to route packets. Now let's go back to this interface, and we're gonna give it a IP address of 10.0.0.193 with the same subnet mask. All right, now we're just gonna see that we can make our way to the router. Go ahead and test it now to make sure everything is a-okay. And yep, a success. So we now have connectivity between switch 2 and R1. So now let's get down to the nitty gritty and work on these VLANs. Okay, so I think that was step 1. Configure a default route on switch 2 with R1's G0. Okay, we can go ahead and do the default route. We'll do that now. And this just allows VLAN 10, 20, and 30 to make their way to the internet if need be. So we're gonna do an IP route, and a default route is just O.O.O.O.O.O, and then the next hop, which would be this interface right here for R1, and it's the next hop because to get to the internet over here, if we're right here, the next hop to get there would be this interface right here. So we're gonna go ahead and configure that. And that is now our default route. Okay, so next we'll configure SVIs on switch 2, one for each VLAN. So we already have our VLSM, our variable length subnet mask already in place. We just have to configure it and add the interface to each VLAN. So we're gonna start with VLAN 10. VLAN 10, and give it a IP address of, we're in the 10.0.0 subnet, and we're gonna make it the last host, so 20/26. That gives us 64 addresses, so the last IP that we could use would be .62, I believe. And we'll double check, and another subnet mask would be 192. So let me just check on one of these PCs right quick, look at the default gateway. Okay, yeah, we're right. It would be, that's correct. Now we're gonna go ahead and do the same for VLAN 20, which is 10.10, 10.0.0. First usable 65. So the last would be 127, I believe. We'll double check, but I'm pretty sure 192. Oops, got IP address. We'll just copy and paste this here so we don't have to retype. And add mask. Okay, so 120, it'll be 126. Apologies. Let's check on VLAN 20 and make sure that's correct. Yeah, 126. And last but not least, VLAN 30, and that should be it. The last usable would be 190, yeah. 255, 192. And that's all our sub interfaces for our VLANs. Now let's check and see if they can communicate with each other. First, let's just do a local ping within the same network. Let's ping .2 up here, see if we can make it across the trunk. That's looking good. If we can make it there, I'm pretty sure we can make it right here to .4, of course. Now let's see if we can make it to VLAN 20 here. Good. Now let's check VLAN 30. Should be good if we're able to get to 20. If this trunk is A-OK and we look good, we have connectivity between all of the VLANs. Now let's see if we can make our way to the internet with that default route we configured earlier. We're gonna go ahead and ping 1.1.1. The router already has a route 2, so that's good. Can we make it? Let's see. There we go. So we can make our way to the internet as well. Let's just try and do that from another VLAN just to make sure. You can never be too sure when it comes to connectivity, right? Mm-mm-mm. There we go. So now we have in place a network that can successfully communicate with themselves between VLANs, and also we are able to make our way to the internet if need be. So this is pretty much how virtual interfaces work and how routing can work without using a router for communication between VLANs, and also how a default route is used to make to send traffic to the internet. So yeah, that's pretty much the lab. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this helps you in your studies for the CCNA, gave you a better understanding of SVIs, default routes, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys next time.